There are moments in life when people we love, trust, or rely on suddenly drift away. It's confusing. It's painful. And often we are left wondering why. We try to hold on, to fix what's falling apart. But no matter what we do, some people are simply meant to leave. What if I told you it's not random? What if their departure is part of something bigger, something you can't yet see? This is why God removes people from your life, the real reason. Sometimes, the people who leave your life are removed for reasons you cannot immediately understand. It feels abrupt, unfair, and deeply confusing. But there's a higher layer to it. God often takes people out of your life as a form of protection from things you cannot see, dangers that haven't yet revealed themselves, and paths that would have caused you more harm than good in the long run. You may have thought that person was essential to your happiness, your growth, or your future. But what if their presence was actually delaying your peace, your progress, or even your destiny? Not every connection is pure. Some people come with hidden intentions, concealed behaviors, or patterns that would eventually hurt you. But because you care, you wouldn't easily see it. Your heart would keep giving them chances, trying to fix what was breaking, and hoping things would eventually get better. God knows this. He knows your heart is too loyal, too forgiving, too invested, and sometimes that loyalty could become the very thing that destroys you. So instead of letting you walk into deeper pain, God steps in. He begins to create distance, circumstances shift, and the bond you once cherished starts to fade. You might try to hold on tighter, but the more you pull, the more it slips away. And that's not punishment, it's protection. When someone's season in your life is over, their continued presence can actually start to block your blessings. You may think that losing them is the problem, but the real problem would have been keeping them longer than you were supposed to. Sometimes the very person you wanted to keep close is the one standing in the way of what's next for you. God sees the weight you would have had to carry, the heartbreak you would have had to endure, the betrayal you would have been blindsided by. And in His mercy, He removes them before the damage can be done. It's painful because we often measure relationships by time, memories, and emotional attachment. But God measures them by purpose, by alignment, by whether they are leading you closer to or further away from what He's prepared for you. You may not see the danger now, but someday you'll look back and realize the door that closed was the beginning of your freedom. The unanswered calls, the sudden distance, the unexpected ending, they were not coincidences. They were divine interventions. What you're mourning today might be exactly what saved you. Trust that when God removes someone, He's not taking something from you, He's saving you from something you couldn't see. When people are removed from your life, it's not always about protecting you from harm. It's often about preparing you for something greater. Growth rarely happens when everything stays the same. Sometimes, the very people you're clinging to are the ones holding you back from becoming who you're meant to be. It's hard to see it when you're in the middle of the loss, but their absence is what creates the space for your transformation. God knows that in order for you to grow, certain people can't go with you. Their presence may have been comfortable, familiar, even supportive for a time, but if you stayed connected to them, you would never be pushed to step into your next level. Some people are part of your story for a specific season, a time when you needed them or when they needed you. But seasons change. Holding on to someone whose time has passed can quietly limit your growth. You begin to compromise, you shrink yourself to keep them comfortable, or you avoid stepping fully into your purpose because you fear losing them. But God's plan for you is never to remain in a place where you must dim your light or delay your progress to make someone else stay. So when those people begin to drift, when the relationship starts to crack, it can feel like life is falling apart, but in reality, things are falling into place. When you lose someone who once meant the world to you, you are forced to face yourself. You are pushed into uncomfortable spaces where you must grow, where you must heal, where you must strengthen the parts of you that you've neglected. Their absence is like a mirror, reflecting the areas where you now have the opportunity to evolve. Without them, you discover how to stand on your own, how to trust your own wisdom, how to build your own identity outside of that relationship. It's in this space of loss that you develop resilience, independence, and a deeper connection to your own path. God removes people not to punish you but to prepare you. To prepare you to handle bigger blessings, deeper love, stronger relationships, and higher callings. If you had stayed in that old connection, you wouldn't have had the capacity to receive what's coming. The preparation can feel like loneliness, but it's actually growth disguised as isolation. And through it, you become someone who's no longer afraid to walk alone, someone who's strong enough to walk into what's next without carrying the weight of what's been left behind. Not everyone is meant to stay with you for the entire journey. Some people are only meant to be part of a specific chapter in your life, and when that chapter ends, their role in your story comes to a close. It's hard to accept, especially when you've built deep connections, shared personal moments, and created memories that feel irreplaceable. But life is about alignment. It's about walking in the direction you're called to. And sometimes the people you start with are not the people you're supposed to finish with. God knows the destination He's guiding you toward, and He knows who is meant to walk beside you on that path. When someone no longer aligns with that purpose, no matter how much you love them, they begin to drift. People grow, and not always in the same direction. You may find that the conversations that once inspired you now feel empty. The shared dreams you once held no longer connect, and the energy you once thrived in begins to feel heavy. It's not because you failed or because they failed, it's simply that your paths are no longer aligned. God removes people not out of cruelty, but out of divine wisdom. He sees what you cannot see. He knows where your life is headed, and He knows when. A person's presence will start to pull you away from that course. You may try to fight it. You may hold on tighter, hoping to reignite the connection. But when someone's season in your life is over, no amount of effort can keep them in place. Sometimes we confuse loyalty with destiny. Just because someone has been there for a long time doesn't mean they're meant to be there forever. You can be grateful for what they brought into your life and still release them when the alignment no longer exists. God will not allow you to carry people who are not meant for your next level. They may begin to distance themselves, or situations may arise that make it impossible to keep the relationship going. It's not always betrayal or conflict. It can simply be a quiet separation, a gentle pulling away, orchestrated to make room for what's truly meant for you. When people leave, don't always see it as a loss. See it as God's way of keeping you on track. Some people were only designed to get you through a particular season, to teach you something, to help you grow in a certain way. Once their purpose is complete, holding on can start to slow you down. Trust that if God is removing someone, it's because your paths are no longer meant to run parallel. Let them go and keep walking toward what's waiting for you. There are times when life seems to take a sharp, unexpected turn. Relationships end, people drift away, and doors you thought would always be open suddenly slam shut. It's easy to feel rejected in these moments, to question your worth or wonder why things didn't work out the way you hoped. But what feels like rejection is often God's way of redirection. Sometimes, He removes people from your life not to hurt you, but to guide you toward a different path, one that aligns more closely with His plan for you. You may have built dreams around certain people, imagining a future with them by your side, but God knows where your true purpose lies. And when someone is no longer part of that plan, He will shift things to set you back on course. We often resist this redirection because we cling to comfort. We hold on to what's familiar, even if it no longer feeds our spirit. But God's vision for your life is always bigger than your comfort zone. When you're too close to someone or something that's pulling you in the wrong direction, you may not notice the subtle ways it's draining you, delaying you, or distracting you. God steps in by allowing the connection to weaken, by closing opportunities that would have kept you stuck, or by creating circumstances that force you to step away. At first, it feels like life is falling apart. But in truth, God is rearranging the pieces to lead you somewhere better. Sometimes the people we love